that were built for success have stumbled out of the gates. The Athletics and the White Sox were preseason favorites to compete in their respective divisions. Both have had slow starts, but the potential is there as managers Bob Melvin and Robin Ventura continue to search for ways to get their teams rolling. After a day off, Jesse Hahn gets the ball tonight, and he'll have the task to containing one of the most feared bats in the American League, Jose Abreu. It's game one. It's the A's and the White Sox, and it's coming up next. After an off day, the A's are back to work. It's Friday Night Baseball from the O.co Coliseum, and Jesse Hahn will make the start tonight for the Athletics. A's are hoping for a big weekend of baseball, including some wins. It's the White Sox and the Athletics. Game one of a three-game series coming up right here on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Eric Chavez, I'm Glenn Kuiper. The White Sox, believe it or not, are last in the American League in runs scored. Eric, that's hard to believe because this is a lineup full of good hitters, and nobody's better than the big fella right in the middle, Jose Abreu.
Yeah, I think the White Sox got this one right 2 years ago when they signed this first base Cuban for a 6-year, $68 million deal. And he's a big guy, very patient at the plate, hits the all fields, very strong. And it's a deadly combination when you got a guy in the box who's quiet and can hit for power.
Well, deadly, too, because he's starting to get going. He's got 6 home runs on the year, but sitting on a 9-game hitting streak.
Yes. He's only got 1 extra base hit in the last 15 games, but that's going to change. This guy can hit for power. He's a really good hitter. He's a clubhouse leader with the White Sox, and I think they're happy they signed him.
All right, so Jesse Hahn needs to be careful then. Jesse Hahn needs to get rolling. What are you seeing different in his last 3 starts compared to his first 3? Because he has really struggled lately.
Yeah, Jesse's got really good stuff. Real good delivery, fluid motion, got a real good curveball. The league's just adjusting to him. You know, he came out early. He's been throwing the ball really well, and the book's out on him now. They're starting to adjust to him. Now he's got to make the adjustment back to the hitters.
All right, so we'll see if Jesse Hahn can do that tonight. He will be opposed by a young man left-hander, Carlos Rodon. Very high draft pick. He's making just his second major league start. So there's your pitching matchup. It's the first of 3. It's the A's and the White Sox coming up on Comcast Sportsnet California. We'll have lineups and first pitch when we come back.
is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. By Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places. And by DraftKings.com. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com with the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Enter promo code SLIDER for free entry.
A's take the field, all white uniforms tonight for game 1 of this 3-game series against the Chicago White Sox. Game time weather tonight presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is kicking off summer this Saturday with free performances by Circus of Nations. It's 60 degrees and breezy and another chilly night at the ballpark. You see the flags out in right field whipping around just a little bit. So a cool Friday night here at the Coliseum. White Sox in their all grays with white and black trim. And here is their lineup tonight. It starts with #1, Adam Eaton. He's in center field. Melky Cabrera in left. Jose Abreu is at first. Adel LaRoche is the DH, starting to heat up a little bit. Avisail Garcia in right field. He's having a nice year. Then it's Connor Gillespie at third. Alexi Ramirez at short. Former A. Giovanni Soto is the catcher and just called up Carlos Sanchez as the second baseman.
6'5", 190 pounds, Jesse Hahn, age 25, acquired from the San Diego Padres. Looking to get back on track here. Jesse features a fastball at about 92 miles an hour, curveball, slider, changeup, and cutter. Keeps the ball on the ground, keeps the ball in the yard. He's only given up 1 home run in his short time in his career.
So behind the young right-hander for the Athletics, defense looks like this for the A's. Crisp, Burns, and Reddick in the outfield. Laurie, Simeon, Sogard, and Canna on the infield. And Fegley is your catcher. So Fegley throws it down, and we are set for baseball. A's after an off day yesterday and a badly needed off day. They are 13-23, so game number 37 on the year. And I would think, Eric, sometimes if you're struggling, the off day feels pretty good. And the A's have played a lot of games in the early going of the season.
Yeah, hopefully they're refreshed and ready to go.
So Eaton digs in and Hahn is ready. Eaton, Cabrera, Abreu, the first 3 for the White Sox. White Sox, on the other hand, are 14-17. So this is game number 32 for them. They're playing a little bit better. They've won 4 out of their last 5. And they also had an off day yesterday, so both teams well rested. The manager, Robin Ventura. A lot of changes for the White Sox, a lot of additions, I should say, and they have high hopes this year, but a slow start. They're trying to get to the 500 mark. White Sox have not played well on the road. They have just 4 road wins. They're 4-12. So that's going to have to change. Hahn with the big curve, and it's 2-1. There's Angel Hernandez, who will call balls and strikes tonight. Scott Berry is at first. The crew chief, Ted Barrett, there's Big Ted. He's at second, and Chris Conroy is over at third. Good fastball there at the knees. 2-2 the count.
Eaton's a very pivotal hitter for the Chicago White Sox lineup. They need to get him going, get on base, start causing havoc. They're going to start scoring some runs. This lineup is too good to be struggling like they have. They're going to get it going here pretty soon.
And that one hit high down the right field line, headed for the corner. Reddick on the move, and it is off the wall, bounces up into the stands. Actually, it hit that hard warning track and then bounced right up into the stands. So it's a ground rule double for Eaton, and that's how this ball game starts.
Looks like a little hanging breaking ball. We need to get that pitch down. He puts a good swing in, it doesn't miss it. Gets the White Sox going. That's not a good sign for the A's.
Cabrera.
I think the A's are pretty lucky that ball stayed in the park.
Yeah, he was going to probably be at third base. So Eaton with the double. His 7th double of the year. So a little sun situation for Reddick, but just for the time being. So here's Melky Cabrera. One of the many additions for the White Sox. Cabrera signing a 3-year, $42 million free agent contract to come to Chicago.
He's actually been swinging the bat a lot better than his numbers indicate, hitting into a lot of bad luck early in the season here, but he's swinging really good.
Well, there's a whole bunch of White Sox who I think you could say that exact thing. They're starting to swing the bats better.
Yeah, they're coming around. I think they're starting to shape out to what they thought they were going to look like when they put this team together.
That's a pretty good lineup. But boy, they just have, up until about the last week, they have really struggled to score runs. 2-0 with Jose Abreu in the on-deck circle. And now it's 3-0 to Melky Cabrera.
Jesse's kind of struggling with his feel right here with his command. It's not a good sign. You want to come out throwing strikes early in the ball game. Keep your defense in the ball game too.
Pitch, not close, and that's a 4-pitch walk to Melky Cabrera. So 2 on, nobody out here in the first.
Yeah, it's not what you want to do. 2 runners on with their one of the best hitters in the American League.
First baseman, number 79.
Last year's Rookie of the Year and a Silver Slugger Award winner at first base.
What a year, huh?
36 homers.
Man, oh man, oh man.
100 runs driven in.
You said it right in the open. The White Sox got it right, and we say that because he's a Cuban player who, you know, like a lot of teams, you sign a Cuban player, you're taking a chance.
You are a big chance
because you're going to have to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, and you could see kind of what the Arizona Diamondbacks did with Yasmani Tomas. Yeah. Doesn't really have a position, hasn't really swung the bat like they thought he was capable of doing.
And there's a line drive under the glove of a diving Sogard into right field. They're going to hold up Eaton as Reddick comes up throwing, and he hits his cutoff man. So Jose Abreu with the line single. So now lots of trouble for Jesse Hahn.
Jesse just trying to get ahead with a fastball after walking Cabrera 4 straight pitches, but Abreu, knowing the strike zone, like I alluded to earlier, will take the ball the other way, and it's a really good piece of hitting right there. I think with 0 outs there, I don't think Joe wanted to take a chance on getting Eaton thrown out at home plate right there. So White Sox got a little rally working right now.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Here's Adam LaRoche. Curve inside. No, strike call. LaRoche double checking with Angel Hernandez. .235 the average for Adam LaRoche.
It's a very streaky hitter. Can get hot in a short series.
And another free agent signing. He got a 2-year deal to come to the White Sox after some real good years with the Nationals.
A couple 30 home run seasons there. Yeah, he's real streaky. He gets really hot. A little soft, fluid swing. Kind of just throws his wrist at the ball and possesses a lot of pop. Good first baseman, too.
0-2 pitch. There's that big curve again. And LaRoche and Jose Abreu kind of flip-flop and DH first base, although LaRoche is doing more DHing than playing in the field. But
right.
They're able to give each other a break, which is a nice situation to have.
Yeah, I think Abreu's only DH about 5 games. He's pretty good at first base himself.
Just a little bit outside. Hahn trying to get a strike call with that big curveball. Now the count 2-2. May have come around the plate.
Yeah, struggling with his command here a little bit. Tries a backdoor curveball there and just kind of misses on the outside part of the plate there. It's a big pitch. He really needs to make a good pitch here. Try to reduce the double play.
And a fastball low. Good take by LaRoche. And now full count. On deck is Avisail Garcia, another powerful hitter, right-handed hitter. Simeon, the shortstop, playing behind second base. 3-2 pitch missed inside, and Hahn has walked in a run. So double walk, single walk, and the White Sox have a run. 1-0. Base is still loaded.
Kurt Young's going to go out there, try to settle him down a little bit. Hopefully Kurt's picked up a little something. He just doesn't have a feel for his command right now with his fastball or his curveball.
And generally, Jesse, Hahn has pretty good control. But coming into this start, just 7 walks in 32 innings, which it's not bad. But a couple of costly walks here in the first inning. LaRoche picks up his 14th RBI. So Kurt Young will head back to the dugout, and Hahn will face Avisail Garcia.
Right fielder, number 26, Avisail Garcia.
See Garcia, good batting average, .322. So that's not a good sign when you got a reliever starting to shake the legs out a little bit. 4 batters into the game. First pitch, tapped slowly. Third. Laurie coming home. Out there. And nice play by Brett Laurie. So 1 out.
Got a sinker, rolls over there. Brett, no chance of getting 2, so definitely comes home, cuts that run off, and the A's still in position to get a double play and out of this inning, and that would be a beautiful thing. Just letting the White Sox score 1 run. So nice play by Laurie right there.
So here's Connor Gillespie. Gillespie, left-handed hitting third baseman. He's hitting .247 with a homer and 8 RBIs. Gillespie not a guy who's going to hit a lot of home runs, and not going to strike out a whole lot. 7 doubles and a triple to go along with his 1 home run this year. Yeah. The youngster Carlos Rodon.
The White Sox are looking for a little bit more power to the third base position. Nice looking player, just kind of lacking in the OPS department.
Well, the White Sox also signed Emilio Bonifacio, who's kind of a play all over the place guy. He can't play third base, but he's not a power hitter either.
No, and they have plenty of power in this lineup.
That's true.
You know, but it's weird. They're last in the AL in home runs with only 22.
It's got to change.
Yeah, and it will change.
2-0 pitch, shot right center field, base hit. 1 run comes in to score. Everybody moves up. LaRoche was the runner at second, and he stopped between second and third just to make sure that line drive got down. So he was not able to score.
Yeah, and I think that's a big mistake right there, because as a base runner, you turn around and you take a look at where the outfield's at, and that ball right away when it was hit, knew it was going to be down. I think the A's got away with a run right there, so hopefully Jets can cash in on that. It's not a good sign, though. His ball's flat. It's all over the place, and they're putting good swings on it.
So Gillespie gets his 9th RBI. 2-0 White Sox, and there's still only 1 out for Alexi Ramirez. Ramirez bounces 1 foul. Nice play down the left field line. Ramirez hitting .241, a couple of home runs, 15 RBI.
It's a great example with LaRoche. Obviously, he doesn't have a lot of speed, but you don't have to possess speed to be a good base runner.
It's true. Curve stays high. Ramirez, another guy that's got a little hitting streak going, 8-gamer.
Yeah, they're starting to come around a little bit.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And we're seeing it in the very first inning here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And 6 career grand slams does Alexi Ramirez. Swing and a miss. White Sox have won 4 out of 5, and in those 5 games they've scored 27 runs. So there's the offense getting a little bit better.
Nice little 2-0 breaking ball. Alexi's a dead red fastball hitter. Can pretty much turn on anybody's fastball. So that was a nice pitch right there by Jesse. See if he can put him away right here.
There's that big curveball, that time a little more hittable, and Ramirez lines it foul down toward the A's bullpen.
Yeah, it's hard to know what pitch he wants to go to right now because he just doesn't have a feel for any of them.
And you got to throw a strike.
Yeah. It's kind of a hanging breaking ball, and Alexi made the adjustment to it. You can see he was out front just a little bit.
Another 1-2. Reach for, popped up, it'll reach the seats. So Ramirez spoiled a pretty good pitch there. 25 pitches in the first inning for Jesse Hahn. It's been a little bit of an issue for Hahn this year, so far at least. A lot of pitches, but not a lot of innings. He's looking for a ground ball right at somebody. Up the middle, grabbed by Hahn, throws home, out there, and Fenley holds on to it. May have had a little trouble getting a good grip, but a nice play by Hahn. That ball was headed right up the middle, and he reached back and grabbed it and got the force out at home.
Yeah, it was, but that's a ball you want to turn 2 on him, and the ball was hit good. Jesse fielded it clean, kind of had trouble getting it out. That bat, I don't know if that bat was in Josh's way right there when he's trying to throw it to first, and he kind of got it stuck out of his glove too. Yeah, that's a ball that the A's would have liked to have turned right there.
So 2 outs, bases still loaded. Here's Giovanni Soto. Soto, of course, spent the back half of the season with the Athletics.
Yeah, you can see the bat there. I don't know if Fagley had his eyes on that too, but he kind of had trouble pulling out of his glove, and like I said, they would have liked to have turned that one. Just not playing a clean style of baseball.
That's right.
You know, small things that are just killing the A's.
Simeon ranges far to his left. He'll take it himself, side retired. So when it's all said and done, a couple of runs for the White Sox on 3 hits and a couple of walks. So bottom of the first coming up. This Crispin left, Simeon at short, Reddick and right, Butler the DH, Laurie at third, Fegley the catcher, Canna at first, Burns the center fielder, and Sogard at second base.
We got the 22-year-old Carlos Rondon, the 2014 first-round pick for the Chicago White Sox out of North Carolina. Lefty who features a fastball 92 to 98 with a devastating wipeout slider.
Defensively for the White Sox, Cabrera, Eaton, Garcia in the outfield, Gillespie, Ramirez, Sanchez, Abreu on the infield. Soto is your catcher. So Carlos Rodon, heard a lot about this young man in a very short time. Yes. That draft that Eric talked about was last year. So he's in the big leagues. Pitched in 9 games last year in the minor leagues. A couple games this year, and let's go get him.
Pretty impressive.
Coco drives him toward left center field. Eaton on the move. Eaton, the warning track, makes a nice running catch.
He can go get it with the best of them. Played a little bit with Eaton in Arizona, and they had to make a decision about to keep A.J. Pollock or him, and they kept Pollock, but this guy can play some center field. Hard-nosed player. He's got a cannon for an arm, too.
That's right. Eaton got to the big leagues with the Diamondbacks. Traded soon after that.
Doing a little Adam Jones with blowing the bubble while he's catching it.
I think the White Sox are, well, I know they're thrilled to have Eaton. They signed him to a 5-year contract extension this offseason, so that's how much they think of him.
He can play. Good player.
Quick 0-2 to Marcus Semien, playing against his old team, the White Sox. There's that slider right there, and it is nasty.
You're going to see it do different things too. At times it's going to look like it's a cutter into the righties. He'll backdoor it, and then he'll try to back foot it to the righties. And I think Semien, having a little bit of knowledge about him, lays off of it.
So 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and that's the first strikeout for Rodon.
I think he goes back to that slider. Little backdoor slider right there. Left it up. I think it was a little higher than he wanted it, but still with some good bite to it.
And he's a big kid, 6'3", 235 pounds.
Yeah, he's a horse.
And the White Sox used the 3rd pick in the draft last year to grab him. And there was a lot of talk about him maybe being the #1 pick.
Right.
White Sox grabbed him at 3, and he's in the big leagues.
And that's where you're going to see his misses right there. He misses a lot of arm side, kind of leaves it up to the left side of the plate right there. Left-handed hitters are going to have a hard time with him.
His first major league start was Saturday, and he got his first major league win. He went 6 innings with 8 strikeouts, so pretty decent start. After making 3 relief appearances for the White Sox. Touch inside, and it's 3-0.
He threw a slider to Joey Votto, who doesn't take bad swings, and he made him look very bad.
3-0 pitching for fastball. 94 miles an hour with that fastball.
You can run it up there to about 98 too.
And there's the walk. So 2-out walk to Reddick, and then a bring up Butler. Take a little bit of the highlights from that start on the 9th of May, and there's your Joey Votto bad swing. So there's the slider that we're talking about right there.
Yeah.
So you always think about a left-handed pitcher with a good slider. You always think, boy, oh boy, he's going to be tough on left-handed hitters. But you see a slider like his, and you realize how tough he is on right-handed.
He's going to be tough on both of them.
First pitch to Butler is a strike.
Yeah, he's real comfortable with that slider. He's going to have to, once he improves with that fastball command, he's really going to dominate this league. He had the 4 walks to go with those 8 punches in his last start, so he will miss.
Well, the White Sox, the reason they have such high hopes for this year, even though they're off to a slow start, is just think about their starting rotation. the glove of Gillespie rolls into short left field, a play that he probably should have made. We'll see what the ruling is. The A's have 2 on with 2 out.
Yeah, kind of an in-between hopper by Billy here, and Gillespie just had trouble with it. I don't know if he took the wrong angle to it. Tough play, though. The White Sox have been having issues fielding the ball, too, like the A's, so
it's going to be an error. So that is error number 26 on the White Sox this year. 3rd most in the American League. So see if the A's can cash in. Here's Laurie. But in talking about that rotation, when you think about this young man, Chris Sale, Jeff Samardzija.
Yep.
Quintana's pretty good, and he's pitching actually as well as any of them. Well, now you start seeing why the White Sox think when it's all said and done, they're going to be in the conversation. And
Danks threw the ball well last time out too, so the Shark hasn't found his groove yet. You know he's going to turn it around here pretty soon.
Well, the 5th guy in their rotation is John Danks, so you don't see 4 left-handers in a rotation very often.
No.
Samardzija would be the only right-hander.
No. As a left-handed hitter, that's just
feel
like, oh man, my back doesn't feel good.
No. Pitch blocked nicely by Soto.
Back in the day, they used to call it Randy Johnson-itis.
Well, you have White Sox-itis.
Yeah.
Chris Sale, one of the best, even though his numbers are down so far this year.
He had that foot injury in spring, so he's about just getting going where he needs to be. So that slider, I think his last start starting to come back a little bit. So he's going to get on a roll.
High pop fly, right field. Garcia is right there. And Garcia has inside, retired. A's strand a pair. They get a walk and they reach on an air, but nothing else. So 2-0 White Sox after 1. Trying to improve on a tough year last year. And those are some of the new guys. Robin Ventura. Some road wins, that's what he's thinking. There's the offensive struggles, but they're starting to come out of that just a little bit. As far as pitching, 12th in the league in ERA. So, again, it's still very surprising that this team's not playing better because it has a lot of good players.
Well, like you're talking about with the starting rotation, you're going to be able to run off 6, 7, 8 wins in a row with that rotation and give you an opportunity to win. So with a good mix with this offense when it gets going, I think this team's going to be team to reckon with as the summer goes on.
There's Carlos Sanchez. And we talked about the offensive additions with David Robertson, huge 4-year contract to be their closer.
Very good.
Zach Duke, a very good left-handed reliever. He got a 3-year contract.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Samardzija trade, so they improved their pitching staff as well.
Yeah, this is a good team.
I think it is too.
A lot of moving pieces. They're getting a feel for one another and how to play with each other. And like I said, they're going to be winning some ball games throughout the summer.
Well, if you struggle, and they have, and you're in the same division as Kansas City and Detroit, and you're still only 6 games back, I think you should probably be happy because you know the Tigers are very good and the Royals have played extremely well. Royals have the best record in the American leagues. You stay close. Strike 3 called on a high curveball.
It's a good sign. Jesse coming back. The backdoor curveball right there. Hopefully he's starting to get a feel for his pitches now.
Now batting, number 1, Adam.
That's his go-to pitch, the curveball. Maybe a little bit higher than he wanted it, but able to lock up Sanchez right there.
Back to the top of the order, and Adam Eaton, who doubled and scored, leading off the game. Ground rule double, bounced up and over the fence. Laurie comes in on the grass. Eaton, a good bunter.
He likes to drag one. He likes to put that ball right at the second baseman past the pitcher.
And you know that because you saw it.
Yep.
And got to the big leagues with Arizona in 2012. And then was there a little bit longer in 2013, but then was traded.
Yeah, they had to make the decision, like I said, between A.J. Pollock and him, and I don't think they chose A.J. over him. But Jesse's starting to get some strikes now going. He needs to find a little bit of rhythm here, attacking the zone early.
Well, Pollock's a good player.
Oh, he's outstanding.
So you get two good players.
I think they flipped the coin. They're both very good.
Two and two. That was part of that whole big 3-team trade where White Sox and the Diamondbacks and the Angels. Trumbo ended up in Arizona.
Yeah.
And Eaton ended up in Chicago. Hector Santiago was involved in that deal. He went from the White Sox to the Angels. It was a whole group of people.
Yeah, the White Sox were happy with the year that Eaton had last year. I think they feel real good about him.
It's going to be a tough play. Simeon has it, throws on the run, and they got him. Had a hurry. Eaton's fast, and he's coming out of the left-handed hitter's batter's box, which gives him a little advantage.
Kind of tops one over Palm right here, and Simeon, good break on the ball right away. Comes in, kind of snow-coned it. Able to get it out of his glove a little bit. Make a nice strong throw just to beat Adam.
So 2 outs for Melky Cabrera. Hahn really needs a 3-up, 3-down inning. He threw 28 pitches in the first inning.
Yeah, he can really get out of the box. Gets out of the box quick. He knows he's sniffing a hit here. Put his head down and go. And I don't have a clock on him, but I bet you it was around about 4 seconds.
Down the right field line. And so 1-1 to Melky Cabrera. Cabrera, one of the few White Sox hitters who is struggling right now. He's 3 for his last 25. Pretty good hitter, but under 250.
Yeah, the numbers aren't the whole story. Like I said, he's been swinging the bat good. He's hitting into some bad luck, and usually every year there's one guy who kind of takes it for the team, and he's been that guy early on this year for the White Sox.
Lines that one foul. Oakland side. Cabrera the last 2 years in Toronto. He struggled in 2013, had some injuries, but then last year came back, hit .301 in 139 games. He was a highly sought after free agent. Decided on the White Sox. Still only 30 years old. Been around a long time.
Oh, Jesse wanted that one.
Well, he's got a couple curveballs called strikes.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Angel's not the guy you want to upset, because he'll stick it to you. So.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Coco on the move. Coco, nice running catch. Side retired. Jesse Hahn with a 3-up, 3-down inning. Bottom of the second coming up. Fegley, Canna, and Burns to hit for the A's. Or not yesterday, we're going to make it Wednesday. The A's were 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position. Josh Reddick, that said it all right there. Some frustration, and when it was all said and done, the A's were shut out 2-0. And the A's lost 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox. So the runners in scoring position has been pretty good for the A's this year, but not so good in that Red Sox series, especially on Wednesday. That can go in stretches too.
Everything can.
So 2-0 the count to Josh Fegley. Fegley, the former White Sox. Swing and misses, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, that's a pitch. I think if Josh is getting regular at bats, he doesn't swing at that. That was a 2-0 pitch. It wasn't even close to the strike zone. Count could be sitting at 3-0 right now.
That one's driven to left field, hit pretty well. Cabrera's going back, and at the warning track, he stops, turns around, and makes the catch. So Fegley is retired.
Batting in the seventh position, first baseman.
Here's Marcana. A's got a walk, and Butler reached on an error in the first inning, but Laurie flew out, so there was an opportunity there. First pitch to Canna. Tapped slowly to third. Gillespie charges, and that's a nice play by the third baseman. Used to make that play quite a bit. Did you like the charge and in play?
Yeah, the most important part is that first hop, and Gillespie's a little bit higher than you'd like to see out of your third baseman. Maybe that's why he's having a little bit of issues fielding the ball, but comes in, gets a good hop, makes a good strong throw over to Abreu.
I guess once you know you have to charge hard like he did, whatever hop you get, you're going to have to handle it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. The defense is really about slowing the game down.
Second baseman Sanchez has it. His throw is light, and once it got over the pitcher's head, Burns had a pretty good chance to beat it out, and he did. So a 2-out single. That's the first hit for the A's.
Like a little sinker. Burns just puts the bat on it and just legs it out. Man, it'd be nice to have that speed. I don't know if it sounded like he broke his bat, but wow. That's some pretty good speed right there.
Yep.
Speed never struggles.
So we'll see if he tries to swipe it back. 2 outs. Sogard steps in. Got a big lead.
Yeah, that's kind of what you want to do. A lot of the A's, they don't know what his move is. So the first guy who gets on base, what you want him to do is get a big lead, draw the throw over, and have an idea about what kind of move. And they've seen his move on video, but they'd like to see it in person.
Sogard takes outside. Sogard hitting .261 with no home runs and 7 RBIs. He was 4 for 13 in that series against the Red Sox on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Hit hard into right field, the base hit. Burns rounds second. He'll hustle over to third, and a 2-out rally for the Athletics.
Misses his location, runs back into Sogard. We talked about he's going to miss arm side a lot. Aaron puts a good swing in it. Billy coasts into third base. Yeah, you can see Burns was going back on that. I think he was anticipating him coming over, and he didn't. But with his speed, no matter, he's easy standing up at third base. So here's the runners in scoring position. See if they can get it going.
Good call. Coco hit a fly ball to center field that Eaton made a nice play on. First pitch to Coco, that hard slider down and in.
And when he gets in trouble, that's what he's going to go to that slider. Coco's going to see that pitch at least a few more times in this at bat. There it is again.
To it, hard slider, and breaks down a pretty good hitter.
Yeah,
crisp.
And those are different looks. There's that slider does different things, and Coco knows he's got a good arm. He's bringing up about mid-90s and started it off in a good location where Coco couldn't hold up.
Burns at third, Sogard at first. Fouled right at the plate, and there's that pitch again.
3 sliders in a row.
So what would make you think?
It's hard to say because he's effectively wild with it too, and he can paint with it. But then he'll also throw that one back, at your back foot. So he starts it in a good location. It's just a really good pitch, and he's going to try to have to make it be up and be a strike.
So Coco behind in the count. There's the fastball, 96 miles an hour, but well off the plate.
He's got a good arm. It's hard to eliminate pitches with Rodon. I mean, he misses with his fastball, but he's got an above-average slider. You don't necessarily always want to look for the pitcher's best pitch, but he throws it for a strike. He could throw it for a strikeout pitch. Kind of hoping he just throws that one where it hangs and you're able to put the barrel to it.
Sounds like an A+ pitch to me.
It is. And his fastball is A+ too. He just doesn't command it well. And it's always hard as a hitter to sit off speed when a guy can throw 95 miles an hour. And you can tell yourself you're going to do it, but once you get in that box, man, you got to go back to that heater. It's a tough thing to do.
And there was the slider. He went to it when he needed to. Coco strikes out, and the A's strand 2 more. So we're headed to the 3rd. White Sox 2, A's nothing. Recognizing teachers that make a difference. Visit csncalifornia.com and vote. The winner receives $20,000 for his or her school. Our all-star teacher is that gentleman right there, Mr. Jesse Sanchez from Westmont High School in Campbell, California. He's one of the 5 finalists. A high school music teacher. He was hired in 2013 to rebuild that music program at Westmont, and in 2 years, it went from 50 students to 350. So congratulations. Good luck. To vote for Mr. Sanchez, visit www.csnbayarea.com. So, Jesse, congratulations. Great job, and enjoy the ball game tonight. So, Jesse Hahn had a 3-up, 3-down second inning, much needed, by the way. Now he faces Abreu, LaRoche, and Garcia, 3 powerful hitters for the White Sox. Abreu singled to right and scored in the first. And that hit him. So Abreu will get awarded first base on the hit by pitch.
Now batting.
Trying to throw a sinker in on his hands. And, got his jersey down there by his belly button. 2-0 count. I don't think Justin wanted to miss over the middle of the plate.
So Hahn back to the stretch as he faces LaRoche, who walked with the bases loaded in the first. Picked up his 14th RBI of the year. First pitch, Angel Hernandez says that's a strike. So 1-1 the count. And LaRoche is now 35 years old. She's down with a fine pitcher in the big leagues.
Oh, he's sporting that beard,
yeah,
too.
That's his deal.
The Hunter's beard. The Duck Dynasty. Great dude.
Started with the Braves, a couple years in Pittsburgh, a little time in Boston, Arizona, and then 4 years in Washington. Did you play with him in Arizona?
I did not.
Must have just missed it. He was there in 2010, and he had a big year for the Diamondbacks. He had 25 home runs that year, knocked in 100 runs. Shot to Sogard. Spins out at second. Out at first. 4-6-3. Double play. That would be tailor-made, folks.
Yep. It's like a curveball. LaRoche put a good swing on it. Sogard right there. Spins, turns to Simeon. Yeah, he put a good swing on that ball. Head down for Sogard. Flips it over to Simeon. Easy double play for the A's.
So 2 away for Garcia. Sale Garcia. Garcia started his career with the Tigers. Everybody said he looks just like Miguel Cabrera, and he does.
Baby Cabrera.
Yeah, he does. The resume doesn't necessarily look the same, but
not yet. But he's coming. He's coming into his own right now.
He's still a young man. He's only 23 years old. 6'4", 240 pounds. Curve, and he swings through it 1-2.
Just coming back with a curveball. That's the curveball he wants to throw. That 12-6 bite. Good bite to it. Down in the zone. Hopefully he's finding a little groove.
And he gets him to chase the curveball, and that's the second strikeout for Jesse Hahn. So we're headed to the bottom of the third. A's trying to get something going. They trail 2-0.
Night when the A's take on the Chicago White Sox. Fans will dress up as their favorite superheroes, and music from iconic shows and movies will accompany the show. Fans can watch from the outfield grass, but as always, on-field capacity is limited. Get your tickets at athletics.com/fireworks.
All right, first fireworks of the year. That group like Super Sam Fold. So it's Friday night. Kids made it through another week of school. We're at the ballpark, and they may be back tomorrow for the fireworks.
Hopefully.
So a big crowd will be on hand. The game starts at 6:05. Simeon, Reddick, and Butler for the A's here in the bottom of the third, trailing 2-0. White Sox got 2 in the first. Simeon struck out swinging, one of 2 strikeouts for Rodon. He's walked 1.
He's been able to lay off a couple of those sliders down.
And then he drills one to center, and that's a base hit. So you lay off the slider and you finally get a fastball to hit, and he lined it to center.
Yeah, and this is with the curveball, comes back with the heater, and Marcus hot bat, swinging it really good right now. Nice swing, head down on the ball, line drive back up to the middle of the box. Looks like he's feeling really comfortable right now.
So leadoff man aboard. Walked in first. Batting average sitting at .333. It's a terrific start to this season for Reddick. And a great series against his old team, the Red Sox, earlier this week. He was 6 for 13 in a home run in that series. His name is all over the American League leaderboards. Fastball first strike. Reddick is 5th in on-base percentage, tied for 6th in batting average, 7th in slugging percentage, and he's 8th in the league in RBIs.
Yeah, early indications is that Carlos is not a reader. When he goes to first, he's getting the sign from the catcher. And when he comes home, he likes a slide step. So see if the A's.
No need to try to steal a bag as the ball goes through Soto. And Simeon goes to second. So it's like it went right between the legs of Soto.
Yeah, and he gives a slide step right there. Throws the slider down right in the between the pocket. Soto. Probably a ball he should have been blocked. Reddick with a check swing.
So a wild pitch, count is 2-1. Simeon. Slider that Reddick liked, had a good swing, fouls it back.
Yeah, I like the way Josh is kind of sitting in his stance a little bit. I've seen him in the past where he's been kind of straight up, but he's really looked comfortable swinging a really good bat early on the season. It's a good sign for the A's. Needs a productive out right here, something to the right side on the ground. Laid off a good slider.
The A's were shut out on Wednesday. So it's been a while since they scored a run. Tough to score any runs on an off day, so it's been a couple days. See, the home plate umpire Angel Hernandez says it's 2-2. Just raised his fingers and said the count is 2-2. We have it 3-2. The scoreboards here at the Coliseum have it 3-2, and I could have swore that it was 3-2. I'm not sure he's sure, because he just checked his clicker and he holds his hands up again saying 2-2. So he's checking the scoreboards and he's just trying to let everybody know that it's 2-2. Checked it again, so now it's full.
Let's see if Rodon goes back to the slider again here.
Simeon with his lead. You see Ramirez playing right behind him. 3-2 to Reddick. And Reddick chased. So I guess you're just still thinking he's going to throw the fastball.
It's just so hard to commit to that. I mean, you know it's his best pitch, but when a pitcher can throw 95 and get it up there at 98, it's just so hard to commit, especially on a 3-2 count. You're looking to put the ball in play, get the guy to third base. And
so when you say commit, you're saying standing there thinking, he's going to throw me a slider here, and I'm looking slider the whole time.
It's easy to say on the bench, I'm going to look for a slider, but like I said, once you get in the box, it all changes. 95 changes your mind in a hurry.
And it's still, I mean, and then if you do get a fastball and you're not ready for it, I got to believe that just hacks you off if you're hitting.
Yeah, totally. And, you know, there's a chance he might throw it right down the middle and you look foolish. But, you know, that's really what I learned later on in my career is to commit to my approach. Really stick with my game plan that I was going to have facing the pitcher that night.
But I think I've seen watching great hitters where every once in a while they'll take a fastball right down the middle for strike 3. And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you know what? Goldschmidt does that a lot in Arizona. And I'd be on deck going, Goldie, what are you looking for? But
so he stayed committed.
He stayed committed.
It just didn't come.
Stay committed.
And that's a fastball. That was right down the middle.
That's exactly what happened right there.
So he's thinking about a slider.
Slider at the back foot, and he throws a fastball right down the middle.
And that may be the best pitch he gets to hit. I mean, 96 is still good velocity, but look where it is.
Right down the middle. But definitely in the back of his mind, he's thinking slider down. He's going to waste the pitch.
And so that could probably then carry into your next at bat, saying that's not going to happen again.
100%.
It is the toughest thing in sports to do. I don't care what anyone
Who says it isn't?
Well, just
let me have a conversation.
Just listening to what you said the last minute, it's a perfect example. You can do everything right and hit a line driver and add somebody, but what happens before that, that's the interesting part.
Yeah, it's on deck circle. You're sitting there having a game plan, and how am I going to attack this guy? You get in the box, and it all changes.
Towards second, kind of a cue shot. Side retired. So they stranded another runner. They've stranded 5 through the first 3 innings. We're on to the 4th. It's 2-0 White Sox. By Prism, now your team can collaborate at a whole new level with video walls from Prism. Learn how at Prism.com. Friday Night Baseball from the Coliseum. If you need to go buy some gear, That's a good place to go. Those young ladies probably got their elephant hats right in that same store we just showed you.
Is your son into the bright colors too?
Yeah, bright colors and the straight bill cap. And if I touch that straight bill cap, he's not happy. I was like, don't you want to bend a little bit? And then I realized as I look at everybody on his little league team and every one of his buddies, they all have the straight brim. So that's the thing.
That's funny. I always remember the first time I got a cap.
You bent it.
I bent it. Yeah. Bent it to exactly the way you wanted to.
No, that is just a bad idea. 0-2 the count. A quick 0-2, as you think. See, Jesse Hahn, he's close to the flat. Yeah, that one's pretty close. But at the age of 10, it's got to be perfectly straight. And that's a swing and a miss by Gillespie. So 3-pitch strikeout for Hahn. So he's settling in nicely. That's 5 strikeouts now for.
Yeah, and this is where you want an 0-2 curveball. Start in the zone, breaks out of the zone. Gillespie swinging over it. Looks like Jesse's starting to settle down a little bit more command of his pitches. And you just wonder as a pitcher, you know, what is it that you do, you don't do, that you come out and you don't have a good feel when you start the game. Whether you throw enough pitches or you don't throw enough pitches and work up a sweat. I remember Esteban Loaiza, when he was here, he used to put on a full jacket, go into the shower, sauna, sweat it up like nobody's business.
Oh, really?
Just to have the
before he went out
to warm up.
Esteban Loaiza.
Good for the White Sox too.
Yes, he did. One and one the count to Alexi Ramirez, fielder's choice, his first at bat. Bunts, and it's a good one. And the best thing to do would be to let it go, hope it goes foul, and it hit the bag, and it's a base hit. So Brett Lawrie knows sometimes you just gotta suck it up.
Yeah, Alexi was so tough. When I played third against him, I hated playing against him because he could bunt, but he also liked to get the head out and hit that fastball down the third base side. So
yeah, he's got good pop in his bat.
You got to respect him. The Cuban Missile. That's what they call him.
He's been a good player for the White Sox for a while now. Having a 9-game hitting streak. Soto. Ramirez was really one of the earlier Cuban players to come over
and make the transition.
Be a regular player right away in the big leagues.
Yeah. Some good players.
We've seen it more and more.
Our sport more than any others. Definitely a world sport.
Yeah.
It's good to see.
Soto grounded out to the shortstop to end the first inning. Carlos Sanchez is the on-deck hitter. So now 2-0, and Fegley will have a chat with his young right-hander.
Sometimes when he pitches at 92 to 93, he loses a little bit of command with that fastball. I've seen him throw some 89, 90 where it's had really good movement and in the zone. So maybe that's something he can hopefully pick up on.
So 2-0. Be careful here. Ramirez, the runner at first. He's got good speed. And that one's hit high in the air. Shallow right, a little bit toward the line. And Reddick has it. So 2 away here in the top of the 4th. And that'll bring up Sanchez.
Soto might have helped him out there with a fastball out of the zone 2-0. Where you want to zone in the pitch, look for something you can drive, and that definitely wasn't a pitch. Even if it was a strike, it was not a pitch he wanted to go after 2-0.
Sanchez, the 9th place hitter, he struck out looking in the 2nd inning. On the ground, Sogard comes in, flips it to first side, retired. So hitting a runner left, another strikeout for Jesse Hahn, and we're headed to the bottom of the 4th, 2-0 Chicago. State in 1999. There's Eric Chavez. His first major league home run was against LaTroy Hawkins and the Twins. 7th inning. A's would win the game in the bottom of the 9th on a walk-off home run by Matt Steer. So that was home run number 1 in your career. And I asked you about it earlier, and you said, yeah, it took a long time.
It did. Two and a half months.
And part of that 2.5 months was an off season, so you had to sit on it for a while.
Yeah, I was called up September, didn't hit a home run, and then took me about a month and a half into the season, so didn't even get to enjoy it. Had to sprint around the bases. The ball came back in.
Great. Do you have the ball?
Somewhere.
Good.
Somewhere.
So you didn't have to negotiate.
No, Boost wrapped it up for me.
Boost will do that.
Yeah.
Take care of it. LaTroy Hawkins is still pitching.
That's great.
That's unbelievable.
Man, some guys are just blessed with health.
Yep.
Good arm.
So 2-2 the count to Fegley. I know you had a lot of back problems. Does it back bother you anymore? Or no,
back's been good. Yeah, the knee's really what kind of did me over in Arizona.
Hit high in the air to left field. Cabrera going back. He's near the wall, and that baby's gone. And the A's are on the board thanks to the home run by Josh Fegley. So Fegley gets the tunnel. And he's got to run. So here's Canna. So for the A's as a team, it's their 35th home run. They're right in the middle of the pack in home runs hit in the American League. Canna skies one to shallow right. Garcia is underneath. Got it. Take a look at the home run. A long one by Fegley.
Tries to go away with a fastball, misses middle in. Josh puts a good swing in it, possesses some power. Can't miss down the middle of the big league hitters, and Josh makes him pay. Cold night. Ball's not really traveling that good, and it's a really good swing on a bad pitch.
So they had to feel good for Fegley. He hit 4 home runs for the White Sox in 2013, 3 home runs for the Sox last year, and now with the Athletics.
You try to tell yourself it doesn't mean anything when it's against your old team, but it does.
I got to believe it does.
It does.
Especially if they traded you. Here's Burns.
Yeah, it's a good load there. Separation. A little bit of an uppercut. Ball traveled well. It's a good feeling rounding those bases, I'll tell you that.
Outside to Burns, and now it's 3-0. Burns had an infield single in the second inning. Pitch missed outside. 4-pitch walk for the speedy Burns.
Yeah, he doesn't throw a lot of strikes. Like I said, even misses onside with a fastball, and even half of his sliders are out of the zone. It's just a good pitch where the hitters are swinging at it.
So I guess if you could show a little patience,
a little bit,
it's easy to say.
Yeah, with a guy with plus stuff. He doesn't look real comfortable. Like he has a real good move at first. I'd like to see Billy get something going here and try to swipe a bag.
Sogard had a base hit to right field. So the bottom half of the order has done a good job tonight so far in the ballgame.
You know, if you're going to steal off of him, you're going to want to go first move because he's got that slide step.
And that fastball, a little inside, 1-0.
Runners still trying to get a feel for him in his move. And an abbreviated slide step right there. He said Billy's got a big lead. He wants to see something happening. I don't think he's going to pick you off at first base. Like I said, he's not a reader. He's not like an Andy Pettitte where you got to worry about him picking you off. So if they could pick the right pitch to go, I think they got a pretty good chance of swiping the bag.
He's got a really big lead. Fastball first strike at 92 miles an hour, so 1-1 the count. 62 pitches for Rodon. That almost hit Sogard. So now 2-1.
Yeah, you can tell he doesn't have a good move. That's why he goes to that slide step, and it looks like he kind of rushes to the plate there a little bit. Arm falls behind him. And this is up and in to Eric.
Berg's not going, and that one misses inside. Now it's 3-1, so no. Looks a little out of whack here in the fourth inning. Chris will be next. So that one in there first strike. Looked like Sogard was going to say, you know what, I'm going to take you to 3-2. Make you throw me a strike.
Yeah, this is an interesting call here. Normally 3-1 and 3-2. Good counts to go. But when a pitcher is effectively wild like Rodon is, it's a tough call right here. Still think you send him.
keep an eye on Burns.
More than likely, he's not going to slide step here and take his regular wind up to the plate. Yep.
And the pitch is high, and it's another walk.
And the reason why he was going to do the higher leg kick is, he wants to make a good pitch. Your priority is to make a good pitch, throw a strike, get a ground ball, hopefully a double play. And that's why it was going to be a good time for Burns to go on that 3-2 pitch.
So that's the pitching coach Don Cooper coming out. Sure. Got himself in some trouble here in the 4th inning. Fegley led off the inning with a home run to get the A's on the board. A 2 on 1 out for Coco Crisp. White Sox scored their 2 in the 1st inning. Coco, the bench coach.
This play as a third baseman, I've always brought this up a few times in spring training. The hardest play for me, when a guy is a base stealer at second, you got a guy who can run at home and who can bunt. And if Coco lays down a bunt like he's going to bunt and he fakes it, and Burns takes off as a third baseman, I don't know what to do. Do I charge? Do I go back to third and and if you go back to third, he lays down the bunt. His base is loaded. So this is always the toughest situation for me. I'm surprised he's not in on the grass. Gillespie.
It's about even with the bag. Listen, if you do go back to the bag, you got to find the bag.
Right.
Well, the ball's
right. It's just I hated this position.
Now he's maybe back even another step behind the baseline. 1-0 pitch, missed again. Now it's 2-0. Rodon. They go for a little walk, and they're moving around now in the White Sox bullpen. I think the A's are certainly sensing that Rodon is trying to figure out what the heck's going on. So an opportunity. And that one was close, but inside. 3-0. Simeon is the on-deck hitter.
Yeah, I think if you're Coco, you want to make him throw 2 strikes here.
Scott Carroll, the right-hander, gets up. And that went right in there for a strike, 94 miles an hour. Outfield pretty straight away. Garcia in right field is very shallow. 3-1 pitch, drive on the outside corner. Coco thought it was a ball, and he was ready to head to first.
It looked like it was away. Oh wow, that was off the plate. It's surprising too when a pitcher is struggling to throw strikes. The umpire usually doesn't open the zone for him. That Angel did a little bit there. Puts Coco in a tough spot now.
Burns and Sogard take off, and Coco flies it right side, second level. So now 72 pitches. He's also thrown 23 pitches this inning. And there's only 1 out. Let's go again, and he missed outside, and the bases are loaded. Rodon has walked 3 in a row. So he walks Crisp. So here's Simeon.
Marks is one of the few guys that have seen the ball really good off of him, put some good swings on the ball, so hopefully he can deliver here in the clutch.
And a slider steps in there for a strike.
There's that slider it's a little bit smaller, almost like that cutter I was talking about. Looks like a cutter to the hitter.
Way outside. So 1-1 the count. Plenty of speed on the bases with Vern, Sogard, and Crisp. Hey, it's the hot and cold zone. Red is above average, blue is below. So he handles the inside pitch. How about that? Okay, look at the inside. Red numbers.
Yeah.
He's above average in most of the areas because he's having a very good year.
Yep.
And a slider, and struck him out. And that did not look like that big, sharp slider. Again, that looked like that cut fastball.
Yeah. Well, it's not a cut fastball. It just looks like one at times. And he backdoored that one. But he wanted to go inside, and he missed the way. But
You're saying it's just
good spin.
A different kind of slider.
It is. It's all slider. It just does different things.
So now it's up to Reddick. Got to come through. 2 outs. Reddick has walked and struck out. Slider and a good one.
That's almost an impossible pitch to hit. Starts it right at you. Ends up on the outside part of the plate.
Soto?
Yeah, I was watching this on the video.
He does this every time.
He's got the thing. That's what it is. He's got the thing throwing it back, and you watch it. Ramirez will back up the pitcher too when he throws it.
Line drive down the right field line. Garcia over's not going to get it. 1 run scores. 2 runs score. Here comes Coco heading for the plate. He will score. And on to third is Reddick. He's cleared it with a triple.
Very nice picking up the A's right here. Kind of misses with the sliders you're hoping for. Puts a good swing on it. Falls in right in front of Avisale. And he's been swinging the bat very good for the A's all year, and it's a good thing. They're going to need his bat in the middle of the lineup the whole year.
So the A's have been looking for a big hit. And they just got it. A 3-run double by Reddick. Give him 28 RBIs on the year. Butler shoots one foul.
Yeah, getting out of the box hot. Rounding first, head down. Right now he knows there's going to be a play at home plate, so he's going to go all the way. Hopefully draw a throw to third. Pumped up. Clutch hit for the A's.
2 pitch. That one's driven to right. Garcia hustling back, and he gets there to make the catch. Side retired. So the A's cash in on 3. Rodon walks. It's Reddick with a 3-run double. And let's not forget about the Fenley home run. So a 4 spot for the A's in the bottom of the 4th.
games, and everyone in your group will receive an A's replica batting practice pullover. For more information on available games or to book your group jersey day outing, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/jersey.
Jesse Hahn now has a lead. It's 4-2, the A's lead, and Hahn will face the top of the White Sox order. So Fegley a solo home run, and Reddick a 2-out, 3-run triple. How about that?
Huge inning. Now they need a shutdown inning from Jesse here. Come out, throw some strikes, get some early outs, get that offense back in there.
Change up, yeah, for a strike to Eaton.
Trying to a few of those changeups.
Eaton, Cabrera, and Abreu, so good hitters coming up for the White Sox. Eaton with a double and a run scored in the first, and he grounded to short in the second.
Jesse's done a nice job of rebounding from that first inning, but this is a very important inning for him right now.
Up and away, and now it's 3-1.
And then right here in this situation, just challenge him, see how far he can hit it. Do not walk him.
And that one inside corner, called a strike, so full count. Hahn 4 for 6 in shutdown innings this year. Trying to get one here. And a foul tip, and that's a strikeout, and that's strikeout number 4. Jesse Hahn, 1 away.
Yeah, I really like his movement with his pitches when they're 90, 91, 89. Seems to have a little bit more control. He's got really good movement on his fastball. He doesn't really need to hump up and throw the 92 to 94. He stays around the 90 zone, should be effective enough.
So 1 away. Here's Cabrera. Curve, and it's a strike. Walk and a fly ball to left field for Melky Cabrera. Line foul. So 0-2 the count.
See if he can bounce that 12-6 curveball here out of the zone. See what he decides to go with.
Curve bounce to Sogard on the backhand. Flips to first, 2 away.
Like, he got the ground ball in that out, but still too good of a pitch. 0-2. You want to bounce that pitch and get Milky to swing over the top of it.
Now batting with 79, Jose Abreu.
0-2 pitch, kind of hung right there. I think he knew he left it up there a little bit too high too. Got away with it. You got to put away another best hitter in the lineup now.
That would be Jose Abreu, who has singled and scored and been hit by a pitch. Curve, and it stays inside. Abreu gets jammed. Good pitch by Hahn. That's a 3-up, 3-down inning. Took 11 pitches. Bottom of the 5th coming up. It'll be Laurie, Fegley, and Canna. A's with a 4-2 lead. California is brought to you by Real Strong Redwood. Why Redwood? Visit realstrongredwood.com. Blake Barrett on a Friday night. Beautiful shot. Bundle up, though. It's chilly. Look at those folks. They got the ice fishing hats on.
It is cold.
Just waiting for summer, and it has not arrived yet. It's being a little stubborn.
Well, even in the summertime, in that game, still get a little chilly.
That's true. Although the A's road trip next week will be to Houston and to St. Petersburg, so we'll get plenty of warm weather. Red Sox and the Mariners are playing again tonight up at Safeco. More pitching. Boston 1, Seattle nothing. That game in the 6th inning. Last night the Red Sox won 2-1. Boston's playing better. Won 4 of their last 5. Buck Holtz and Happ, the pitching matchup in that game going on right now. So we'll keep you updated on the Mariners and the Red Sox. Astros won again. Those crazy Astros. 2-2 now to Laurie. Astros beat the Blue Jays 8-4 in Houston. Astros now 23-13.
I think they're here to stay.
Almost got to start thinking like that. So 3-2 the count to Laurie. Laurie has hit a fly ball to right field, and he is grounded to second. And missed outside. Another walk. 5 walks now for Carlos Rodon. Last inning he walked 3, and they all scored on Reddick's triple.
Yeah, that's going to be his kind of his last hump.
Yeah.
Command with that fastball.
Carroll was up last inning. He's up again this inning, and I don't think Robin Ventura is going to wait real long this inning. Fegley goes after a high fastball, fouls it back.
I was reading some quotes from Rick Ahern, the GM of the White Sox, and they said they're going to baby him this year a little bit. You know, they're going to skip his start in the rotation and try to preserve that arm.
This is what Fegley did in the 4th inning.
Yeah, got the A's on the board here. Did miss the fastball right down the middle.
First home run this year for Fegley. And that pitch not close, 2-1. As you watch Rodon, you talked a lot about the slider. You see the fastball, which you're going to have to command it a little more. He's got to, at some point, I would think, mix in a 3rd pitch. Even though, like you said, he's got a couple different sliders, which
right. And from what I hear, he does. He's got a curveball. It looks more like a slurve, and he's got a changeup that's really good. He just doesn't use it enough. And you know, in spring training, he had faced the Dodgers lineup and threw it about 20 times and was pretty effective with it. So I'm not sure if it's something where he's just trying to, you know, to perfect 2 pitches with a fastball slider and then kind of work in those 3rd and 4th pitches. But he's got them if he needs them.
Because we have not seen a whole lot of changeups.
No, I don't know if we've seen any. We haven't seen that curveball.
So 3-1 the count to Fegley. So 5 hits and 5 walks so far in 4+ innings. And that one not close, and I think that's probably going to do it. 6 walks in the game for the rookie Carlos Rodon, and Ventura has seen enough. He's trying to keep this game close. So that's going to do it for the rookie left-hander. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in.
$15,000 fans will receive a pair of A's branded mustache socks driven by Chevrolet. Get your tickets now by calling 877-493-BALL or visiting athletics.com/tickets.
So Rodon is done, and the walks got him tonight. 6 walks in 4+ innings. And he leaves trailing 4-2, and he is looking for nobody out as Mark Canha steps in against the new pitcher, Scott Carroll. Carroll, 30-year-old right-hander, making his 5th appearance, just brought back to the big leagues at the end of April. Made 19 starts last year at the big league level for the White Sox. Also a handful of games out of the bullpen. Tonight he's trying to keep this close, and I'm sure it wouldn't mind a couple innings out of Scott Carroll.
Yeah, a lot of good things out of Rodon, but you can tell he's going to need to improve that fastball command, and the word's going to get out around the league that make this guy throw strikes.
Yep. Canha, a ground ball and a fly ball. 0 for 2. Hard sinker at 90 miles an hour. Boy, that ball just disappeared.
A lot of movement. Down and in. You know, you can watch as much video as you want on guys, and until you step in the box and really see it for yourself, it's hard to know how much movement a pitcher has in his ball.
Right in there, and there's that movement again.
Yeah, he's throwing 3 sinkers. So he's got that good movement down, even though that was right over the middle of the plate.
So 1-2, Canha has to protect. Play by catcher Soto.
Yeah, going back to Soto. We'll see the block here. Moves over nicely. Does a good job behind the plate, but you can see around the league there's with the throwing issues, there's a lot of them you see from the catchers back to the pitcher.
So that's
or in any other position. Yeah, he definitely has. Yeah, the thing.
And the thing is just simply sometimes
you can see he goes down to his knees.
That's very strange.
You know, and it's kind of like, all right, it's going to look like a routine. I'm going to do it every time. I'm going to go down and grab the dirt. But yeah, This is, Gerald Laird, who's been around the league after the A's drafted Gerald, had the same thing. But it's amazing. These guys, if there's a base stealer, can throw a bullet down to second base, but they can't throw it back to the pitcher.
The thing has been around a long time. It's just basically you're afraid you don't have any control of where it's going to go when you throw it back to the pitcher. That sounds so simple, but yet, many catchers have had that.
Yeah, and there's a player the Diamondbacks have, Peter O'Brien, monster hitter.
Yeah, big, strong.
They had to move him out of catching because he had the thing. So he's out in right field now.
Interesting. 3-2 pitch. Here it is. Way out in front. Well, we saw Soto last year, and he's been around a long time. I've never seen this, and you often wonder, it's like, well, when does it go away?
Right.
And it usually does.
It does. I think. No, I don't think it does. No.
That's got to be a bad feeling.
Yeah, I was talking to, I forget who it was I was talking about it, but it mentioned that something traumatic had happened. Whether he threw the ball back and hit the pitcher.
Really?
Something traumatic has to happen to kind of put you in that state of mind. I don't know if you made a couple bad throws or whatever it was, but something triggered it. And it's definitely a mental thing. Obviously, it's not physical because he can throw BBs down to second base.
3-2 the count. Laurie at second, Fegley at first. Hard sinker running in on Cannon. He fouls it back again. So what you're telling me then, as we stay on the Soto thing, is when he throws it, this whole I'm going to clean off home plate that he does every time is nothing but he's just trying to convince people that I don't have to think.
He wants everybody to think it's a routine. He goes down and grabs the dirt like he needs to get a good grip on the ball or something, but really it's just he's hiding the thing.
Another 3-2 and another foul ball. Now watch, he'll throw it and he'll wipe the dirt.
Yep.
And he has done that every single time. He's trying to add on after scoring 4 in the fourth. And again, it's bounced foul. Same pitch, same result.
There was times where I struggled with throwing here because of the depth perception. You look at all that foul territory behind first base, and it's like, oh man, and it starts to get in your head a little bit.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but I always liked places like Baltimore and where everything was enclosed, and it felt like the first baseman was a lot closer.
Well, it's like a basketball player. It's always easier to shoot when the backboard's right on a wall,
right,
as opposed to there's nothing behind.
Exactly. It feels like you're going to miss everything.
So again, 3-2. Good battle here. Carroll and Cannon. Strike 3 call. So that sinker was a little up, but called the strike.
Yeah, looks like cut the top of the zone there with that good movement. Starts up, but then catches kind of the upper quadrant on the plate there. Tough pitch.
So 1 away for Burns.
You want to keep Atten here if you're the A's. That White Sox offense has got some power in it, so they've had the opportunities. You don't always need hits, but you need productive outs and productive at-bats. Got the big triple by Reddick.
Sinker low to Burns. Burns has singled and walked, and he has scored a run. Couple of walks to start the inning.
It's a good guy for Burns to try to take the opposite field, stay on that sinker, don't roll over. He's going to be hard to double up anyway, though.
Shoots that one foul. Mariners have tied up the Red Sox. It's now 1-1 in the 7th inning up in Seattle. Houston score. Angels beat the Orioles 3-1. That run by the Mariners was a Seth Smith solo home run in the bottom of the 6th inning.
You know, if you're Billy, you can just eliminate the inside part of the pitch here and look for something middle of the way. If he comes in, it might be with a slider.
Fouled right over the head of Sogard, who's in the on-deck circle.
That was a slider. He wanted to come down and in with it, but missed over the plate again.
So the A's putting on a good battle here against Scott Carroll, and broken through against him here to try to get another run home. Didn't miss by much, so Carroll went inside there.
He tried to bring it back. Good pitch.
Didn't miss by much either.
Yeah, he threw it at his front hip, tried to bring it back. He laid off a good pitch right there.
So 2-2 the count. Not close. Looks like a changeup of some sort.
That was a split finger. It could have been a split. If you're Billy, you're looking for that sinker away now.
See if the runners take off. And it's another walk. 7 walks now by the White Sox, and the A's have the bases loaded with 1 out. So here's Sogard trying to do some damage.
Yeah, these are the nights that aren't fun for a defense. It's cold. Pitchers aren't throwing strikes. A lot of walks. You got to do anything to kind of move around and stay warm out there.
Sogard, a single and a walk. There's a base hit left field. Laurie scores. They'll hold up Fegley, and Sogard with an RBI single to make it 5-2. Well, that was what you do with a sinker away from you.
Good piece of hitting right there. Got that good sinker, good movement. Stays on it. We've seen Eric get to that inside pitch. Head still. That's just having a good approach right there, knowing what the pitcher wants to do, and you have an idea of what how you're gonna attack him. Yeah, Laurie right there, just reading it through. Make sure the ball's going through right there. You don't want to get doubled off.
So Sogard gets his 8th RBI of the year, and now to the top of the order in Coco Crisp. Coco 0 for 2 with the walk. Walk and a run scored in the 4th. Pitch is a fastball up and in. So now 5-2 Athletics. Looking for more here at the bottom of the 5th. drops in there on the outside corner.
Yeah, this is where the A's base runners have to be cognizant of Soto's throwing issues. Not that it's going to happen, but you want to keep your eyes on the ball.
Good take by Coco, 2-1. Outfield pretty shallow, especially in right. Garcia playing it extremely shallow.
Remember Jason Kendall a few years back we had a walk-off where against the Angels, K-Rod was on the mound and kind of lackadaisical dropped the ball, and Jason stole home.
Good take, 3-1. Carroll thought it was a strike. So Carroll's got no place to put Coco Chris. Check swing roller to third. Gillespie's going to come home out there. So Coco with a check swing, and he rolled it right to third. So that's the second out. That was that sinker down and away again. Coco tried to hold up.
Yeah. Not the swing he wanted to put on a 3-1 pitch. But with that late movement, he kind of wanted to go at it early and then saw that it was moving away and kind of held up his swing.
So 2 outs now. And here's Simeon, who is 1 for 3. He's got a single and a couple of strikeouts. A little bit off the plate. So 1 in, but the A's would certainly feel a lot better if they got a couple here. And a great opportunity.
Yep.
Boy, he's throwing a lot of those, right? The split finger.
Yeah, that was a splitty right there. First pitch was a slider. Comes back with a pretty good split finger.
So 1-1 to Simeon. On the ground right to Ramirez. He'll go to second side. Retired. A's get a run. There was 3 walks and a Sogard RBI hit. So we're going to the 6th inning. It's 5-2. Athletics lead.
Streaming sports service is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
A's now lead 5-2 on a chilly night at the O.co. LaRoche, Garcia, and Gillespie against Jesse Hahn. Jesse Hahn was all over the place in the first inning. He faced 8 hitters. He walked a couple, gave up a couple of hits, a couple of runs. But since then, he has been terrific.
Yeah, you like to see that adjustment from a young player. Comes out, has no control, no command of his pitches, and settles down. Minimal damage in the first, and now he's into the 6th.
He's retired 12 of the last 14, and one of the batters he did not retire was out on a double play, 4-6-3. That was in the 3rd inning. So he is settled in nicely towards center. Burns in a couple steps, and LaRoche is retired. So 1 away here in the top of the 6th. So after that tough first inning, pretty good numbers for Jesse Hahn. And he's had a couple rocky starts, so he's trying to get back on track and get his 2nd win. Did you watch him pitch, Eric? I mean, and you can see why he has a chance to be pretty good.
Oh yeah. It's about gaining confidence, learning the league, learning players.
I mean, I think he's got enough to get a lineup out 3 times, don't you?
Absolutely.
Maybe 4.
And you can tell with both these pitchers tonight, it's all about location. The stuff is there, but you got to be able to put that stuff where you want to. And if you miss over the middle of the plate, the hitters are going to make you pay.
2-0 to Yasiel Garcia. Kind of a half swing, fouls it straight back at a fastball that was a little up. Garcia has reached on a fielder's choice. That was in the 1st, and then he struck out in the 3rd. 4 strikeouts for Hahn. Curve off his foot, so the count even at 2-2.
You know, I don't know where this A's team is going to end up at the end of the year, but I promise you in the second half the numbers are going to be a lot better than they are in the first half, and a lot of that has to do with the young guys that they're running out there. You got Simeon at short. It's going to be a learning year for him. You got Hahn, some of these younger guys, Mark. You got Billy in center. It's a tough thing to do to come in at this level and learn positions, and you know, it's one thing that's changed in the game. When I first came up was, you know, there was veterans that were all over the field and maybe 1 or 2 rookies, and now it's the other way around.
So guys getting to the big leagues a lot quicker.
Yeah, and there's going to be a learning process with that.
Number 12.
This is his go-to pitch, that curveball. Might have been a slider. He's really settled down nicely.
7 in a row retired by Hahn. Pitch count at 87. So here he faces Connor Gillespie. RBI single in the 1st, and then a strikeout. He's in the 4th. So the first inning, 3 hits and 2 walks, including a bases loaded walk. Not much since. Curve and a strike outside corner. Gillespie can't believe it.
I think even for some of the better players in the game, you look at, you know, Bryce Harper in Washington. He seems like he's finally kind of figuring it out right now. He's put up some big numbers.
12 home runs.
Just takes some time. I believe he was 19 when he was called up.
So 1-2. Gillespie, a guy who we've seen many times bat without any batting gloves on. Not tonight, though. It's very chilly here at the ballpark, so he's got him on.
You know, I think that's why, too, in this game, moving forward, you got the young guys coming through. I think coaching staffs are going to have to be a little bit more important. You know, players used to come here and had some experience, 23, 24, 25. Now they're coming here when they're 20, 21. Sure. Have to learn the game at this level.
Yeah, that's a big 3 years of learning.
Huge. You know, I platooned for the first couple of years. You know, I was 20 when I was called up. Ended up platooning for 2 years. I was 22, and then 23 I started playing every day. But
fair ball. Knocked down by Cannon, stays with it. To Hahn, side retired. So 3 up, 3 down innings for Jesse Hahn. Bottom of the 6th coming up. A's 5 and the White Sox 2.
rewind. Josh Fagley depositing a fastball to the left field seats right there for his first home run of the year. And then Reddick coming up with a big 2-out triple, scoring 3 runs, giving the A's a nice little lead. Clutch hit. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world.
So Reddick to lead it off, bottom of the 6th inning. He's with the 4 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. Scott Carroll is still out there. Carroll minimized the damage in the 5th inning. He's had a chance to really have a big inning. He ended up getting the 1. Reddick, Butler, and Laurie. That would hit high in the air, shallow left. Cabrera out, but it's the second baseman who has it bounce off his glove, Carlos Sanchez. So that was kind of an odd play. Of course, there was the wind blowing around up there, and it affected everybody. But you see the alignment.
Yeah, you got the shift on, no shortstop. But Sanchez had to get a long way for that ball.
So that was one of those shifts, Eric, where the third baseman, Gillespie, went all the way over to the far right side of the diamond. Alexi Ramirez stayed at his shortstop spot, but he was slid over a little bit. So kind of a strange alignment. And it ended up being Carlos Sanchez who went out into left center and had it pop off his glove. So it's a double. Reddick will take it.
Absolutely. Take them all.
Fernando Rodriguez getting loose out in the bullpen. strike in the inside corner to Butler, and it's 0-2. Butler reached on an air, struck out, lined out to right. A double by Reddick. Hit number 7 for the A's. Little flip job right center. That'll get down for a hit. Reddick being waved home. The throw to the plate is late, and Reddick gets in. Soto says I tagged him on the back. Angel Hernandez called him safe. Robin Ventura's going to wait and see what to do. Soto immediately said, no, I tagged him on the back.
Yeah, a good piece of hitting right there by Billy. 0-2 pitch, stays inside a slider, it looks like. We'll see what the replay says. Yeah, we'll see what it says.
Is Reddick in there yet? See, he may have got him, but I don't think he got him before his foot hit home plate.
This is going to be a tough call right here. You know, I kind of felt like Billy should have kept going right there and made the second baseman, or I'm sorry, the first baseman cut that ball. And the last thing you wanted was a play at home plate right there. This is going to be a tough call to overcall.
Because I think his foot got the plate still even before Soto tagged him in the back, if Soto did tag him in the back.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to overturn this one.
That may be your best look right there. See, he does tag it.
Right, but wow,
it's close.
Oof.
So they're looking at it. Angel Hernandez is looking at it up on the scoreboard. Now watch that left foot of Reddick. It's near the plate. There's the tag.
Yeah, I don't think they can overturn this. Very good slide by Josh right there. You see Billy at first. Like I said, I would have liked to have seen him go right through. I mean, even if he walks into an out, you want to plate that run right there. And if the throw goes through, you got a man standing on second base. So you want to be able to add runs late. You'll take that out for that run. I just don't know that it's going to be enough to overturn this call.
I agree. It's kind of one of those where the initial call is very important.
Yeah, and if he would have called him out, it would have been the same way.
You okay with the instant replay?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I don't either.
I'd like it to be a little quicker. You know, I've heard the thought of having a fifth umpire, you know, with a TV in the first row, and
now they're taking the headsets off.
Safe.
And he's safe. So Reddick scores. It's an RBI single for Butler. It's 6-2. The A's lead. Not enough there to change it. I agree with you, Eric.
And the ruling on the field stands.
So Butler gets his 18th RBI, and the A's had another run.
Now batting third baseman, number 15, Brett Lowry.
So that'll bring up Lowry. So a double and a single, and the double should have been an out, but the A's will take it. So here's Lowry. First pitch to Lowry, a strike. Lowry has hit a fly ball to right. He has grounded to second. And then he led off the fifth with a walk, and he later scored. He's now with 8 hits in the ballgame. Speed pitch again by Carroll, which he likes to throw, and it's a pretty good one. Lots of downward movement.
Yeah, I don't think he throws anything straight. It's moving all over the place.
Shallow center. Eaton hustling in. Sounded like it may have been a broken bat. So Laurie is out. 1 out for Fegley.
Now batting, the catcher, number 19, Josh Fegley.
So Fegley with a home run in the 4th. He's done a nice job behind the plate, settling Jesse Hahn down after a tough first inning.
Yeah. Definitely have to give the catcher credit for that.
First pitch to Fegley down low. Strike called on the outside corner. Red Sox Mariners still tied 1-1. That game going to the 9th inning now. So a good ball game up there. Good sinker, 90 miles an hour. And Fegley missed it, so the count 1-2. Outfield straight away for Fegley. Field's looking for a ground ball. Pitch number 38 for Carroll. So he is indeed trying to get a couple innings. Ramirez to his right, out at second, the turn, and that's a double play. So Fegley hits into the double play, but another run. Butler with the RBI single. So we're moving to the 7th inning from the Coliseum. It's 6-2. A's lead. The banquet beer. On this date in 1941, Joe DiMaggio begins his 56-game hitting streak with a hit against White Sox pitcher Edgar Smith. The Yankee outfielder will collect at least one hit in every game until July 17th, which captures the attention of a nation. The 56-game hitting streak by Joe DiMaggio. So, see who got close. Pete Rose got to 44.
Yeah, 44.
So he was 13 away from time.
That record is safe.
What's the longest hitting streak you ever had?
I couldn't even guess. 20, 21, somewhere in low 20s.
And you were feeling pretty good about that, right? That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was streaky, man. Too streaky.
You did all right. 56 games, Joe DiMaggio. And then DiMaggio didn't get a hit into the streak, and then he hitting 17 straight after that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know, it's so much harder now. You know, the bullpens and guys throwing harder. You know, I used to face the starter. Guys were, you know, we're talking to Hawk earlier about the complete games that guys used to have.
No question.
You don't see it anymore.
In the air to right center. Burns is over there, and he's got it. Great Hawk Harrelson was in the booth talking to Eric before the game. And normally, you know, a guy sitting in your chair. He was sitting in my chair. You want to say, hey, I got to get to work. But it's Hawk Harrelson, so Hawk can sit there as long as he wants.
There's Aaron Roan filling in, too. Former center fielder, World Series champ. Played the game hard, man. I remember that Philly catch he made in center field running into the wall, right, man. Wow.
His nose may still be crooked from that. Hawk Harrelson, he's a Blackhawk guy right now. Why not? Aaron Rowan filling in a little bit on TV. One and one the count to Giovanni Soto. A ground out to short, a fly ball to right for Soto. Taps this one, third, tough little hop, and it's going to be an error, and it's going to be an error on Laurie. Kind of a funky little hop.
Yeah. He made the right move. You saw it off the bat, kind of backed up a little bit. Stayed down. His head was down there, just kind of.
Now batting, number 5.
You know, defense is like I was talking about earlier. It's all about slowing the game down, and your eyes are so important. And you want to move your feet, and you want to be quick, but you want to be calm while you're doing it. It's almost like you're a cat burglar and kind of tippy-toeing around the infield, and you want to have quick movements, but keep those eyes very still.
So here's Carlos Sanchez, one out base runner is Soto. So each team with an error now. Sanchez has struck out and he has grounded out. Blocked nicely by Fegley. Does a very good job. Block.
You know, that's just part of the game. The A's are going to have to clean up. I guarantee you, if you ask Brett if he should have made that play, he would have made it. Got Fegley behind the plate there making a nice little block. Balls right there in front of home plate, just where you want it.
Slapped the other way. Over top the bullpen. So 1-2 the count. Mentioned the Astros score. They beat the Blue Jays 8-4. Keuchel got his 5th win. So Dallas Keuchel now 5-0 with a 1.87 ERA. So I can immediately do the math and think, let's see, pitched on Friday, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So A's could see him on Wednesday in Houston. Altuve homered, Springer homered, Valbuena homered. So that's what the Astros do. When they win, they generally hit home runs, and they've been pitching extremely well. Keuchel over Dickey. Another win for the Astros. They're 23rd in the year. Over Laurie's head, down the left field line for a hit. Soto with a big turn. So Sanchez has a base hit. Rodriguez is pretty much ready out in the bullpen.
Yeah, Jesse makes a nice pitch. Sanchez just pulled the hands in and slapped it the other way. Now with that error, the White Sox got something going.
So that's going to do it. 6 1/3 for Hahn tonight. He leaves with a 6-2 lead. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune Up. Your oil change, tune up, and brake experts.
may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
So Jesse Hahn goes 6 1/3 innings. He's got a chance to get a win. Gives up 5 hits, 2 runs with 5 strikeouts. And now it's the bullpen's job to get the final 8 outs. Here's Fernando Rodriguez. He's been very good in his first 4 games. Good to the point where Bob Melvin says, you know what? I'm looking for some late inning guys, and we're going to give him a shot.
Still trying to feel for it. See what he's got down there in the pen.
So a touchy moment here, though. You got 2 on, 1 out, and now you got the top of the order coming up for the White Sox. So you got to be careful.
You have to work hard, make some good pitches, keep the ball down.
Eaton asks for time, and he gets time. Cabrera next, and if the inning were to keep going, you got Jose Abreu. So that's why this could be a scary inning. Swing, miss, 1-1 count. Angels beat the Orioles 3-1.
He's kind of rears back and challenges them with his fastball. He's got a good live fastball.
Swung the ball. So the count 1-2. There's Abad, who's just now starting to get loose.
Nice job by Jesse there after that first inning. Did a real good job. Doolittle right next to him there. Talked to him today. Said everything's on track.
He's good. Closer, yeah.
It's a good sign for the A's.
Pitch on the ground. Out at second. Sogard the turn. Not in time. So Eaton just a little bit too quick.
On the fastball, Eaton slaps it to Simeon. Kind of juggles it a little bit there, and looks like Eaton just got in there. Good speed going down first base. Ooh, that's going to be a close one. Wow. Now if you see Eaton hit the front of the bag right there, that's something that him and A.J. Pollock used to work on in Arizona.
Hit the front?
To where, yeah, and sometimes they wouldn't even touch the base. They would just hit the ground really hard.
Sure.
So the umpire would hear
that's
it.
what he's hearing.
Yeah. And obviously it's a little bit harder now with replay, but
Cabrera swings at the first pitch. Cabrera's 0 for 2 with a walk. First and third.
But I promise you, if his foot's on the middle of the bag, he's called out right there.
Yeah.
So he kind of snuck one in right there. He always plays hard, going down the line fast.
Huge out to get here with Abreu waiting in the on deck circle.
Yeah, you can tell with his toe just nicks the front of the bag right there, and that's by design.
Makes sense. Get there just a smidge quicker.
Yeah, paid off right there. Give Cabrera an opportunity to drive in a run.
Eaton runs. Ball's hit into left field, and that's a base hit. Eaton, while he was on the move, goes around to third. So Soto comes in to score, and now it's 6-3, and the tying run's coming to the plate. So Cabrera just rolled one through the left side.
Tries to go in, runs away. Nookie puts a good swing on it the other way, and Brett's there. You know, he just kind of pulled up on it. Would have liked to have seen him go down for that. You know, Simeon was up towards the middle, so it's not like he thought he was there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to dive for it.
Yeah, just kind of, I don't know if he got caught in between. I don't know if Eaton running kind of caught him in the corner of the eye there, but you know, I'm not saying there would have been a play anyway if he would have left his feet, but.
So Scribner and Abad now getting loose for the A's as the dangerous Jose Abreu steps up.
And we all know Brett's not afraid to get dirty, so you got to think something happened there to kind of throw him off a little bit.
Abreu with a single and a run scored in the first, hit by a pitch in the third, and then grounded out in the fifth. He's got 6 home runs on the year. And the first pitch, big overhand curve is low.
But just, I mean, just go back to Eaton, that play at first. I mean, kept the inning alive and all through hustle. Kind of a nifty little foot maneuver on the bag, and you got your best hitter up with an opportunity to tie the ball game,
which is all you can ask for in the late innings. Oh, and he got one to hit there.
Yeah, he did. Wow. Like we were talking about earlier in the show too, he's got a good little hitting streak going, but only 1 extra base hit in those last 15 games. So he's getting knocks, but not quite driving it like we're accustomed to seeing from him. But the power numbers will be there at the end of the year.
36 home runs last year, 107 RBIs. Curve, and he swings and misses at that one.
Back with a nice 12-6 curveball, good downward break, and makes a way to expand the zone.
So Rodriguez ahead in the count.
This would be good for Rodriguez's confidence too if he gets this out right here. You know, good hitter like Abreu. Start trusting his stuff.
Fegler with a very good block.
How did he come up with that?
Not only was it bouncing way out in front, but it was ways off to his right.
Yeah, and he completely overthrows his curveball. He wanted to bounce it, but I don't think he wanted to miss by that much. And Josh moving his feet, getting in front of it. Wow, it's amazing he came up with that ball. Good job.
That one popped up. Canna coming over, and Canna just runs out of room.
You know, that catcher blocking those balls like that, good job that Vogt and Fagley do. Gives the pitchers confidence to go ahead and put balls in the dirt, knowing that their catcher's going to work hard and keep it in front of the plate.
So 2-2 again. And a curve. Did he go? No. Big overhand curve from Rodriguez.
You know, he fooled him with a curveball earlier in the count, and good hitter making the adjustment, knowing that in the back of his mind now. You know, the pitcher, when you face a guy for the first time, the pitcher always has the advantage. The hitter just doesn't quite know what the ball's going to do, even if you see a guy on video like I talked about earlier.
Cabrera goes, and the pitch is dribbled out in front down the first base line, but it's foul.
We're going back to that curveball that Fagley blocked earlier. 3-2 count gives the confidence where Rodriguez can go ahead and break one off and not worry about having a pass ball.
So we'll do 3-2 again. Eaton at third, Cabrera at first. Outfield shifted slightly toward right center. And the ball inside, and it hit Abreu. So he's hit for the second time tonight.
Yeah, and just, kind of overthrown here a little bit. Don't want to make a mistake, and that's the second time he's been hit by a pitch. Never fun. Obviously not on purpose, but never fun getting hit by 95.
So with LaRoche coming up, the left-handed hitter Fernando Abad's going to come in. The bases are loaded with 2 outs for the White Sox. They got to run in. We'll be back.
Fans will receive the one-of-a-kind Stephen Vogt referee bobblehead driven by Chevrolet, which features audio of his referee calls and the famous fan chant. If you believe in Stephen Vogt, get your tickets now by calling 877-493-BALL or visiting athletics.com/tickets.
So 7th inning, and it's Abad against LaRoche with the bases loaded. LaRoche 0 for 2 with a bases loaded walk. And the first pitch is outside. So this has become a tense inning. Abad in game number 17. 4 walks, 6 strikeouts in 10 innings. And a bit high. Numbers with the bases loaded in his career. And that one's driven right center field. Reddick on the move, not going to get it. 1 run scores, 2 runs score, and they're going to hold up Abreu at third, and it is now 6-5. LaRoche with a 2-run double. I think that's the problem with falling behind 2-0. This pitch is right there.
Yeah, and he puts a good swing on it. Doesn't miss it. Real pretty swing into the gap there.
I think the A's are lucky that it's Abreu running here. Most guys would have scored, but he's not real fast.
Very fortunate.
So Abad faces one hitter, and he is done. We got a new pitcher. Scribner's coming in.
Is brought to you by Toyota, Let's Go Places, and by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
So the White Sox have scored 3 times to make this a 6-5 game. Jesse Hahn ends up 3 runs allowed in 6 1/3 innings. And now Scribner to try to get the A's back in the dugout with Yasiel Garcia, the right-handed hitter, coming up. So Scribner, the 3rd pitcher in the inning for the A's. First pitch, curve, floats in there for a strike. So Abreu at 3rd, LaRoche at 2nd. Tying and go-ahead runs are out there in scoring position. Curve again, base hit left field. And that's going to roll all the way to the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Garcia is going to stop at 2nd with a 2-run double, and the White Sox have taken the lead here in the 7th inning. So a couple of huge 2-out hits, and I mean huge.
Defense and bullpen. Got the air by Brett, kind of open the gates a little bit. You had Eaton breaking hard to first and touching the front of the bag there to keep the inning going, and the bullpen unable to shut down the rally, but the White Sox kept going. So very deflating right now on the bench and for the Oakland Athletics.
Here's Gillespie, who takes a strike in this inning. 1 of the runs charged to Hahn. 3 of the runs charged to Rodriguez. And 1 of the runs charged to Abad. Curve, tapped foul. So 0-2 to Connor Gillespie, who is 1 for 3. He had an RBI hit in the first. 5 runs by the White Sox in this inning. Swing and a miss on the big curve, and that ends the inning. But a 5 spot for Chicago. 7th inning stretch from the Coliseum. It's now 7-6 Chicago. as our A's insider Joe Stiglitz provides wire-to-wire reporting of the A's 2015 season. You're going to get breaking news, video, special features, and more only on CSNCalifornia.com. So now the A's trailing as we've reached the bottom of the 7th inning, thanks to the White Sox scoring 5 times in the top of this inning. And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. So the new pitcher is Dan Jennings, left-hander.
First baseman, number 20, Mark
Not good numbers for Jennings. 12 hits and 11 walks allowed in 14 innings this year. Jennings with the Marlins last year. First pitch to Canna is outside.
Kind of surprised not to see Duke right here in this situation.
Duke's their number 1 lefty in their bullpen. Beckham comes in the game at third. There's a strike. Canna is 0 for 3 tonight. In the air to right field, but playable for Garcia, who's under it. So Canna is retired. And that'll bring up Billy Burns. I mentioned earlier, Angels beat the Orioles 3-1. So the Angels have won 4 in a row and 7 out of 9. So they're starting to get things rolling. Weaver got the win tonight and pitched into the 8th inning. Houston Street got the save. Your old teammate just got a little contract extension. So he likes it with the Angels. Got a 2-year extension a couple days ago for $18 million. Albert Pujols homered in that game. Career home run number 526 for Albert. Zach Putnam starts to throw. Off the plate, Ramirez, the shortstop, has it. Quick throw, and did Abreu get it? He did. What a play.
I didn't think there was any chance we were going to get Billy right there. As soon as that ball went up off the plate that high, I thought he was going to be safe for sure. And Alexi gets it out of his glove real quick. Billy kind of taking a peek over there to his left a little bit. Maybe I slowed him down a little bit. If he's from the left side part of the plate, he beats that out easily. Nice play by Ray to stay with it.
So 2 outs for Sogard. Sogard's had a very good ball game. He's 2 for 2. 2 singles, a walk, a run scored, and an RBI. So he's done his thing.
I think the first thing the A's are going to have to do is tighten up that defense. I really do. It's going to prevent a lot of runs in the long haul. And hopefully get that bullpen going a little bit and get Doolittle back and get some guys, get some confidence back. And last year that game was over. This
and the year before.
Yeah,
the year before.
Yeah,
that's the thing, is it's just we're not used to it because the bullpen has been so good and the A's won so many games late in the last 3 years just because the bullpen was better than the opposition.
Yeah. And then this game is, as a player, is very frustrating. Come off of a disappointing series, you have the off day, re-energized. Hahn kind of struggles early. You guys put up 6 runs and then they come back with the lead late. So a lot of uncertainty on that bench right there. The effort's there. They're working hard. But the results just aren't there.
So 3-2 now to Sogard. Sean Doolittle back, and Zobrist back. Get everybody together. Sogard hits it hard, past to diving Ramirez, and another hit for Sogard. He's 3 for 3.
Eric stays on it nicely like he did the previous at bat, hits it the other way. It's a good job staying on the lefty, staying closed.
Don Cooper's coming out.
How long has Cooper been there? He's been there forever. 12 years as the coach, pitching coach, but he's been 27 years in that organization.
Good for him.
That's a mainstay.
He made it through the Ozzie Guillen years. That's a, I mean, that's pretty good right there. Got a World Series ring with that group.
Yeah. Well, Todd Steverson, the hitting coach, used to be with the A's. Harold Baines, one of my favorite hitters, coming through. There's Todd. He's done a good job with that team. Like I said, they're going to perform better as the summer goes on offensively.
Here's Coco. First pitch from Jennings is in for a strike. Coco 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored.
You know, the way the bullpens are built nowadays, you can't afford to give up late runs. It's just almost impossible to score late off some of these bullpens that these teams are putting together.
Yeah, I think that's true. That's, I think, the biggest change in baseball in the last 15 years. I mean, think about when you started playing up until now, which is 15, 20 years, right? Well, the difference is with bullpens is there used to be a couple guys that were good. Now there's 4 or 5 guys that are good.
Right. Right. I mean, you go back even to the Yankees and you look at Mariano. Sure. He's the main reason why they won those World Series. I mean, when he came in, the game was over.
Now you have a good bullpen and you can make the game over after 6 innings like the Royals did.
6 innings, 7 innings, yep.
Right field, Garcia hustling in. Garcia playing shallow, made a nice running catch. Coco's retired, and so are the A's. We're headed to the 8th inning. White Sox 7, A's 6.
on Memorial Day, May 25th, for a special holiday matinee as the A's take on the Detroit Tigers at 1:05 p.m. That afternoon, 15,000 fans will get an A's Road cap presented by Comerica Bank. Get your tickets now by calling 877-493-BALL or visiting athletics.com/tickets.
The blanket is needed tonight. Couple innings to play. The A's have lost a 5-2 lead. She had a 6-2 lead. Now it's 7-6. Alexis Ramirez leading it off. Bottom three in the order. Ramirez, Soto, and Sanchez here in the top of the eighth against Scribner. Ramirez tonight is 1 for 3. Cut fastball that Scribner's throwing more of this year. First strike.
Does this game have an extra inning feel to you?
Yes, it does. I think you are correct. And if you're the A's, you'd be fine with that.
You see, Alexis thought he struck out right there. He started to walk back to the dugout. He lost track of the count there. He was taking a. He's kind of laughing about it too. Strike 3. Head back. Oh, wait a minute. That's only 2 strikes.
Fegley was thinking about throwing it to third. 2-2 the count, we think.
Man, I've seen that happen the other way. Very rarely that way.
Curve and Ramirez swings and misses. Tag put on, and that's the first out here in the 8th inning. Big curve that Ramirez just could not lay off of.
Yeah. 12-6. Good bite on it. Gets them to expand the zone.
Number 58, Giovanni Soto.
Nice block by Fegley again.
So here's Soto. The Mariners won that game tonight. They got a walk-off signal from Nelson Cruz. So Seattle 2, Boston 1. That's the final. Same score as last night, except a different team won. So the Mariners get their 16th win. They're now 16-19 out here. Trying desperately to get to that 500 mark. Indians beat the Rangers tonight 8-3 in Arlington. Kipnis had 4 hits. Swisher had 3. A milestone, though, for Adrian Beltre, one of my favorite players.
Mine too.
Career home run number 400 for Beltre. And good breaking ball. Soto strikes out. So Scribner, after giving up that double to Garcia, has struck out 3 consecutive hitters.
That 400 homers is going to throw Beltre into the Hall of Fame discussion.
I don't think there's any question.
He's a Gold Gloves.
Terrific. And he's still got some wear and tear left.
Oh, yeah.
He's still
good 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I think so.
And he's having fun playing the game, so they're going to have to rip that uniform off of him.
Well, you watch him play. I mean, I don't see a whole lot of loss in bat speed.
Nope.
You know, and that's always a sign of a player maybe slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
But the bat speed is still there for him. Pop foul back, but in the end, the Rangers lost that game. Royals beat the Yankees 12-1. Young over Pineda. Royals had 17 hits in that game. Curve and another strikeout. So Scribner goes with the big curve to have an impressive top of the 8th. So here we go to the bottom of the 8th. A's down 7-6. The A's with 4 in the 4th, but the White Sox with 5 in the 7th. That gave them the 7-6 lead. 7-8-1 for Chicago. 6-9-1 for the A's. Rodon got knocked out. He walked 6. Jesse Hahn better tonight. Boy, that 5-run inning is hanging over the A's head right now, but they do get 2 more shots as Dan Jennings, the left-hander, is back out there. Pitched the 7th inning, gave up a hit. Simeon, Reddick, and Butler. That's Clippard on the right, Mahika on the left. Good swing there by Simeon.
I think we've seen Clippard up in the 8th way too much. I'd like to see him getting ready for the 9th to close it out.
Just has not been a lot of save opportunities. Sharp slider from Jennings.
You got to think we're going to see Vogt by the end of the night. The night's over.
It's the lefty Zach Duke.
So they get Duke up to counter Vogt.
Probably right.
Vogt. And then yeah, Patrica will come in, face Billy.
Remember their closer, Robertson. Just short. Ramirez handles that tough hop. Throws just in time. 1 out. That's that little in-between hop that we talk about, and you can see it.
Stays down with it though, puts it right in the middle of the pocket of the glove, and he's always had a strong throwing arm, right on the money.
See, guys, Eric, when they do it generally on any ground ball, but sometimes with that in-between hop, go get it a little more with their hands.
Yeah, definitely out in front.
Makes it less of an in-between hop, and you could see him do that there. I think he noticed the in-between hop and then just reach for it a little bit.
You definitely want those hands out away from your body for sure. You don't want that ball close to your body whatsoever.
Because, I mean, am I correct in saying at some point you recognize as the fielder that, you know what, this is probably going to be an in-between hop. So I have to.
Yeah, about halfway there, definitely. But
he's out there a little bit more than normal.
Right. And I always used to imagine there was a 3-foot circle around me where I did not want that ball to enter that circle. And that was the visual that I had.
And you're saying if it did, it was probably that in-between hop.
If it did, the ball was playing me and I wasn't playing the ball.
Pitching change. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. join us tomorrow. It'll be game 2 of this 3-game series. There's your pitching matchup. The lefty Danks against Jesus Chavez, who has been very good again this year. ERA of 2.56. Our coverage starts at 5:30 with A's pregame live, and then the first pitch about 6:05. Get complete A's coverage every night on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. So the new pitcher is the right-hander Jake Petrichka.
I think I'm going to call him Jake.
Jake Petrichka. That's what it says in the media guide. Petrichka. I just go by the media guide. Facing Butler with 2 outs, nobody on here in the 8th. Butler had an RBI hit in the 6th inning. The play at the plate was reviewed. Reddick was called safe, and the call stood. Petrichka had 14 saves last year for the White Sox. Appeared in 67 games and had a 1.43 ERA. So he's an important part of this bullpen. They have lost that closer job, but he's sort of a right-handed 8th inning guy.
I don't know that he lost it. Bringing Robertson, who's a proven closer.
It's called $46 million to David Robertson. 2-2 to count. Laurie is the on-deck hitter. Broken bat that should fall, and it will. Billy Butler's 2 for 5. So now Laurie hits. So Vogt is going to hit for Laurie. Sam Fold is going to pinch run for Butler. And Don Cooper's coming out again. Duke, the left-hander's ready. So Fold, the runner. Vogt in the on-deck circle. And Zach Duke, a very tough left-hander, is ready in the bullpen, so we'll see what happens here. And Vogt has certainly handled lefties just fine this year.
He's done a good job against everybody.
I think they're just waiting to see if it's been thrown. He should be ready.
Looked like an off-speed pitch there, and sounded like Billy broke his back. Second time he's gone to the opposite field today with a base knock. Yeah, he definitely broke his back.
So Duke coming in to face Vogt. Should be a good matchup. came out into the on-deck circle, but I don't think he was ever announced.
Right.
Robin Ventura came out pretty quickly, but now Laurie has come back out, and it looks like Laurie is going to hit. So Vogt was going to hit for Laurie.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, basically what has to happen is Angel will look over at Bob and confirm that he wants him to hit. So that probably never happened. And he was not, it doesn't sound like he was announced last inning. So it's a good move by the A's right there.
Well,
I mean, kind of pulled one over there.
And you know what? I mean, in all honesty, it's not good managing by Robin Ventura.
No.
You cannot let that happen.
You have to make sure he's going to be the hitter.
So make sure that Vogt is announced into the game and then go make your pitching change.
Yes.
But Robin Ventura came out pretty quick, and he's not happy. But that, to me, that's a mistake that should not happen if you're a manager.
No. No, there's been
really just wait.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times where I've walked all the way to the batter's box, and then the umpire would look to whoever was managing and have to confirm that I was going to be the hitter.
So the umpire is really the one who makes the confirmation. It's not the announcement up here. That's just for us.
Once the umpire looks at Bob and he gets the okay, then that's the hitter.
So as it's all said and done, Duke, who's a very tough left-hander, will face Laurie. But what the White Sox really wanted was Duke to face Vogt, obviously.
Yeah, and this is huge because now, even if the A's don't score and they bring in Robertson and close the ninth, they got Steven to hit against him at some point. So that really worked out in the A's favor.
But that, to me, is just that cannot happen if you're the manager.
Yeah, that's definitely on Robin right there.
Here's Duke, big free agent signing. Got a 3-year contract. Zach Duke. There's a strike to Laurie. Fold is the pinch runner at first. Laurie tonight is 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. And he shoots one up middle center field, a base hit. And Fold stops at second, slips a little bit. So Laurie with a line single. And now it's first and second.
Now you got Brett in a line drive right back up the middle, stays on a, I don't know if it was a sinker, but what a good swing on the ball. Now they got Bagley facing a lefty, whereas if Steven had to hit against a lefty, Bagley would have had to face Robertson. So things working out for the A's. Let's see if they can make a cash in here.
Number 19, John
Bagley with the solo home run in the 4th inning is 1 for 3. So Fold is the tying run. First pitch is a bit outside. Zach Duke, lots of years with the Pirates as a starting pitcher. Stopped in Arizona, a couple years in Washington. No season really jumps out at you except last year.
Timing.
Yeah, he had a good year with the Brewers, got a big free agent contract. He gets out of the jam here. So 2 more stranded for the Athletics. A little weirdness in the bottom of the 8th, but it's 7-6 as we go to the 9th. and we're going to bring you the A-Team. All four of us broadcasters. You see Vince and Ray next door. Eric and myself will get together right here in our booth and have an unscripted roundtable discussion about tonight's game. It's only on A's Postgame Live at 95.7 The Game after the game. Unscripted, Eric. So we don't plan anything. We just talk about the game. So, as we always do on Friday night home games, the A-Team.
I think defense and bullpen will come up.
Unless there's a walk-off, and then we don't have to talk about this.
I think it's going to come up anyway.
We've talked about that too much this year.
Yeah.
Mahika, the new pitcher. Murray coming over near the dugout, and it bounces right on top of the dugout. So Edward Mahika, those are the combined numbers with the Red Sox. We've seen him once with the A's. But he's got a chance to help solidify this bullpen when Doolittle comes back.
Yeah.
If he can. He was struggling with the Red Sox, but he was pretty good not long ago. Right up the middle, and Eaton has a hit. So Adam Eaton, 2 hits. He's been on base 3 times. He was on a fielder's choice as well.
Look like off-speed pitch. Adam stays on it. Hits it right back through the box. Got their speedy leadoff hitter on.
We'll see if the White Sox try to create something. Eaton this year, surprisingly, only has 1 stolen base. Look at his numbers. Last year, he had 15.
There's more in there, too.
I think there's
more in the tank.
Cabrera had an RBI single in the 7th inning. Runner goes. Fegley's throw is in time. They got it. Eaton, no arguments there. He pops up, heads back to the dugout. So Fegley throws him out, trying to steal. They'll check it.
Yeah, didn't have a really good jump there. Kind of a high throw. Eric makes a nice little tag. Not a good throw to, not a good pitch to throw on, but it does a nice job. Yep. Adam didn't get a good jump at all right there.
Kind of slid into Sogard's foot. Watch the arm hit the foot.
Yeah.
He's out.
Throw up the line, not where you want it. Eric able to do a good job. Corral it.
No. 1-2 now to Cabrera.
As a base stealer, you know, if you don't get that good jump, you know, most of those guys will shut it down, and I think that's a part of Adam's game that he's going to have to improve on. He's got the speed, he's got the ability, just needs to work on it a little bit more. And stealing bases is an art.
Toward left. Kupko grabs it. So 2 away here in the top of the 9th. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th. It'll be Canna, Burns, and Sogard. Those are the 3 scheduled hitters. May see a left-hander in there, although the White Sox bullpen, Eric, is empty.
Yeah.
And I say that only because they have a true closer in David Robertson, and he is not up. So
that's interesting.
It could be that he's been busy lately. Who knows? But looks like Zach Duke is going to.
Well, they had an off day yesterday, too, didn't they?
That's true. Or Petrichka, I should say. No, Duke is in now. Excuse me. belted to the gap. Coco on the move. Coco! Nice catch. Goes into a slide. Pops back up. And that'll do it for the White Sox in the top of the ninth. So good play by Coco. Now the A's will try to walk it off, although they need 1 to tie and 2 to win it.
Player of the game. Adam LaRoche with a 2-0 fastball. The double into the gap. Scores 2. Bring in the righty Scribner to face Garcia. That's a hanging curveball into the gap for another 2 double RBI.
All right, so it's the bottom of the ninth, folks, and the A's are down by a run. Canna, Burns, Sogard, and it is indeed Zach Duke. Putnam is throwing again, the right-hander out in the White Sox bullpen, so looks like it's one of those nights where David Robertson is not going to be used.
Right.
Sometimes with the closer. A little bit outside, 2-0.
Trying to get David 2 days rest. Did the same thing with the Brave. He didn't play in Wednesday's game. He's working on 2 days rest, so maybe Ventura taking a little advantage for some of his veterans.
3-0. He's looking for a couple runners. Is 0 for 4. Ground up, couple of flyouts and strikeout. 3-1 pitch, strike with a sinker. A good sinker at 89 to show that movement.
Yeah, good take there, though. That's not a pitch you want to swing at. Kind of at the bottom of the zone. Gets the favorable call there by Angel.
So a full count, big pitch. Canna waits. Here it is. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So 1 out here in the ninth. And now Burns will try to get aboard. So a tough night for Canna. 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts.
Now batting center fielder, number 1, Phillies.
Pitch right there. 3-2 swing. Maybe a little bit over aggressive there by Mark. Like to see him cut down his swing there and try to put the ball in play.
So Burns needs to get on. is a high pitch. So 5 pitchers tonight for the White Sox. Remember, Rodon, the starter, went just 4 innings. Scott Carroll 2, Jennings an inning and 2/3. Petrushka faced just 1 hitter, and now Duke is trying to get the final 4 outs for the save. Does not have a save this year. All the saves go to Robertson. He's got 7. Chopper to first, broken bat. Abreu has it. The bat ends up over near Beckham at 3rd, so that's the 2nd out here in the 9th inning. So was Sogard scheduled to hit? He will not. It'll be Stephen Vogt. And you know, hey, listen, if you're Bob Melvin in a 1-run game, you gotta somehow get Vogt to the plate, even if it's with 2 outs and nobody on like this. He's probably your best hitter, or one of your 2 best hitters. He's got to get in there. Absolutely. Even if it is a left-handed pitcher. Exactly. And a tough lefty on lefty, but it doesn't matter. Vogt needs to get an AB, and he's going to do it here. So Vogt steps in. First pitch, he is down and away. Vogt this year against lefties, .250. He's got 4 hits and 16 at bats, and one of those hits is a home run. Pinch hitting this year, 1 for 2 with 4 walks, and now it's 2-0. Missed again, 3-0. Coco Crisp waits in the on-deck circle. That fastball at 91 miles an hour in first strike. Ike Davis, Max Muncy, the 2 position players that have not been used tonight for the A's. 3-1 pitch. Fouled at the plate, rolls up the third base line. So now it's a full count. A slider missed outside, and the A's are still alive here in the ninth.
What a good at bat right there. Decides to go with a 3-2 slider after falling behind 3-0. Steven lays off of it.
So that's 8 walks by White Sox pitchers so far. And here's Coco. 6th at bat of the night for Coco. He's been on base twice with a walk and a fielder's choice, but overall 0 for 4. First pitch hit in the air, left center field. On the run is Eaton. He's not going to get it. It bounces at the base of the wall. Eaton gets to it quickly, and they're going to wave Vogt. Now they caught and hold him, and now he's in a rundown. And the flip to the catcher, and that's how the ball game ends.
Wow.
So Mike Gallego was holding him up, and Stephen Vogt.
It looked like he was waving him early when I peeked over there.
So a very strange ending to a difficult night for the Athletics, but when it's all said and done, it's a 7-6 White Sox final. Here's the last play.
What a great swing by Coco here. Gets a fastball out, doesn't miss it. Floats on first, gets a good jump. We all know he doesn't have the greatest of speed, but he's going hard. And Gallego was waving him early, and I think as as Steven hit the bag, he held him up. So
here you go, Eric. We'll get a shot here. What happened at there? There's Mike, and so he was waving him.
He was waving him early,
and he held him late, and looked like Vogt may have been a little bit confused.
Well, he was going, you know, and then I think Mike saw Alexi has the ball before he even touches third. So normally, you know, I think when Mike saw that, he's like, all right, I'm going to hold him. I mean, you just definitely want to end this game with the play at the plate, not with the rundown. So that definitely hurts.
Pretty good execution by the Chicago White Sox.
Absolutely. Hit the cutoff man.
Exactly. So tough way to end it. But the final score 7-6, 21,464 saw it. It took 3 hours and 34 minutes. White Sox win game 1 of the series. You've been watching A's Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Brody and Shooty starts right now.